Are you planning to have a photography trip? Well, I want to suggest you go to Kyrgyzstan. Hey, what's up everyone? You good? This is Hyunmin Jung from HMJ Photography. Do you like my new hat? I bought this in Kyrgyzstan. So yeah, some of you may already know this, but recently I went to Kyrgyzstan. And actually last week, I made a video consisting with some of the photos I shot in Kyrgyzstan, and I hope you watched it already. And well, if you haven't, please watch it after this video. So Kyrgyzstan, I think that like to most people, it's not really a country that you think about to visit. Like it wouldn't really be on top of people's list to visit. I mean, even for me, it wasn't. Like until I met my wife, um, the only thing I knew about the country Kyrgyzstan is the name of the country Kyrgyzstan. That's it. And of course, like um, I probably would have never visited Kyrgyzstan if it wasn't for my wife. So thank you, my wife. So yeah, it was a lovely country and just like lovely to be there and also lovely to photograph there. So today, I wanted to share my experience in Kyrgyzstan with you. So firstly, where is Kyrgyzstan? Well, it's located in Central Asia near Kazakhstan and northern China, and it's somewhat close to Mongolia. And it's like a small country in between all those countries. The day we arrived in Kyrgyzstan, it was almost nighttime, so I couldn't do much or see much. But when I woke up in the morning, the following morning, and look out the window, I was so surprised and amazed. Like we were staying in a hotel inside Bishkek, and from the window, what I could see was the scenery of the city, but like far away, I could see snow mountains, and it was absolutely stunning. So that day, my in-laws came to pick us up, and we went to a mountain. And to be honest, like I kind of felt a similar feelings when I went to Grand Canyon. Like, wow, am I in the same planet? It was that amazing. And that night, we were headed to the Lake Issyk Kul. It's a gigantic lake in Kyrgyzstan, and it's a place where people in Kyrgyzstan or maybe even from like Kazakhstan or Russia go to for like summer vacation and whatnot. Like, if you know anything about Kyrgyzstan and like if you're actually thinking about going to Kyrgyzstan, the lake Issyk would probably be like one of your destinations. Like it's like one of the places you have to visit if you go to Kyrgyzstan. And I mean, we went there during the nighttime, so we couldn't see anything. And of course, next morning, wow, the lake was gigantic and it was almost like a sea. And we were having some nice time by the lake, and around the lake, it's kind of like a resort. And right now we live in Japan, and summer in Japan is absolutely gross. It's super hot. Like um, 35 degrees Celsius, or I would say like something like 99 degrees Fahrenheit. And not only that, it's super humid, and it's like that heat is like just holding on to you wherever you go. But in that lake, is it cool? Like, of course, it's quite hot when you're under direct sunlight, but when you go to some like shady part, you can feel the cool breeze, and I was like, oh yeah. So yeah, I really liked Is It Cool, and like I don't want to just talk about how amazing this vacation was. Like I want to talk about for some photography stuff, and photography wise, it was quite it looked quite magical because in the lake, you can see some people just enjoying their time inside the water, and the lake itself was quite warm. By the way, Lake Is It Cool? I heard that it means like warm water or something, and even during winter times, the lake doesn't freeze. But anyway, people are just playing around in the water. But like when you look further enough, you can also see mountains covered in snow, and it was absolutely beautiful. And when you drive a little bit away from Issyk, you can go inside the mountains, and there, the nature is stunning. Like, I mean, compared to the nature in like Japan, Korea, or like New York that used to live in, the nature around this area was like untouched. Um, like not much like modernization, and that's why it was so beautiful. Like you would see people just running around on their horses, and you see like I don't think it's actually a wild horse, but like just horses just eating grass over there, cows eating grass over there, sheep's eating grass over there. And yeah, that was something not really what I'm used to seeing. And like people around there, they seem to be super chill too. Like I would hold my camera like this, and like there were like kids on their horses, and they were like showing peace signs at me, and it was very fun. In this trip, I did a lot of shootings inside the car. So my father-in-law was driving, and I opened the window and I was shooting from the window. And um, my father-in-law, he drives like Vin Diesel. And the roads, I wouldn't be surprised if the roads are still things from the Soviet era. Like it's super bumpy, and my father-in-law is driving super fast. So it wasn't really easy shooting from the car window, and I had to like bring up the ISO to like 1600 even in like daylight with the shutter speed of like 500 or 250 and the f-stop of like 8. Yeah, and I was shooting like pew, pew, pew. And it was actually like for me like a training experience to capture the moment. And actually I was quite happy with some of the images I was able to capture. We stayed by the Lake Issyk for about 2 nights, and then actually 3 nights, and then we went back to Bishkek. And in Bishkek, there's this place that you really must go if you're planning on a photography trip, and that is Osh Bazaar. So, like, to me, like these kind of bazaar is something that I'm not super used to seeing. So it was just fun to be there, and of course, fun to photograph there. Um, Probably because I looked obviously like a tourist. Like people didn't mind me just aiming a camera at them, but some people might not like it. So try to be mindful for others. But yeah, like in Osh Bazaar, like there are so many like different things they're selling, such colorful fruits and vegetables and spices and whatnot. And it was I had a very nice time photographing there. Another place that you should visit when you go to Kyrgyzstan, or like people tend to visit when they're in Kyrgyzstan, is the Tower of Burana. And well, it's supposed to be a World Heritage, but you can actually go inside the tower, and it's super dark and super. It's quite scary to go up there. And when you go up to up in the tower, there are people who carve their names on the building, and I was like, is it okay to do this? I mean, of course, I wouldn't do it, but yeah, it was interesting. But yes, this Tower of Burana was a tower built in during the time of Silk Roads, and around this tower, actually, we paid for a tour guide who didn't really appear. And instead of that tour guide, there was one stray dog that just came towards us. And actually, that dog was a very nice tour guide for us. So, there are several stuffs that you should watch out when you go to Kyrgyzstan. And firstly, this was something that my wife and my in laws kept telling me, and it was to be careful of pickpockets. So, yeah, I heard that there are a lot of pickpockets. Thankfully, I didn't get anything stolen, but there could be, so please be careful of that. And the second one is, oh yeah, always carry your passport, because sometimes the police officer can stop you and ask you for your passport. And if you don't have your passport, they might demand you some money. So always carry your passport. And the third thing that I really want you to be careful is with food. Their food was amazing. It was super flavorful and tasty. But like I don't know which food that made me that way, but I really had a bad diarrhea, and I couldn't go out of my hotel for 2 days, which was very sad because there were so many things that I wanted to photograph. So I basically wasted 2 days because of yeah unfortunate toilet event. So yeah, either be careful when you eat something or um, take some good medicines with you. Also, like this has nothing to do with photography, but when you go to Kyrgyzstan, I really want you to try their melons. Like it's like a cantaloupe. It's like yay big, and that's super cheap, and they sell it like on the side of the street, and it doesn't really look tasty at all. But like when I actually bit into it, it was the best melon that I have ever had in my life. I mean, I think I've had a melon that was like $100 or like $200 per like melon, and even compared to that, like this cheap melon was crazy tasty. So when you go to Kyrgyzstan, try this melon, and I'm sure this melon will not give you diarrhea. So that's good. So thank you. I hope my video convinced you to want to go to Kyrgyzstan, and I hope I didn't do a bad job with that. Well, if I could, I really would love to go to Kyrgyzstan every summer, and that's how much I love this country. Thank you very much. Please like, subscribe, and share. Until next time.